Café Anyway, Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's episode 3350, 3350, and Mike Matthews here at Café Anyway, somewhere in podCastro Valley.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The last place on earth in the land of Meritopia, broadcasting from Café Anyway. And we'll talk to Benita, the rodeo queen, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and we may even do a little chat with the Brewmaster later. It's Mike Matthews. Sometimes we say hi to people here who bring their pet gators. It's a wonderful place.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's like a type of travel, a travel destination. But what is
Mike's
leisure travel?
Daily
It's the act of
Podcast.
tacking extra days onto the end of a work trip, or maybe bringing a friend along for a conference. Actually, it's called leisure travel. Is that right, or did somebody just misspell this? That's the question I ask. I ask questions, and then I search Bing for... Yeah, it's called leisure. It's the intentional blending of business and leisure on a single trip, typically by extending a work trip with personal days. 60 to 80%. Wow, 80% of business travelers now add leisure time to at least one trip per year. I could see that. And I have never had a job where I had to travel all the time, and I have a feeling that I would probably end up doing this. The only incentive, of course, for those type of jobs where you do travel all the time would be that you make big bucks, but also that you get to see a lot of interesting places. But it's a portmanteau of business and leisure. It involves extending the corporate trip, and it's not accidental. The leisure portion is planned and intentional, and the primary purpose of the trip remains business. It was coined around 2009, entered mainstream travel vocabulary in the 2010s through corporate travel research.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The podcast picture is of a recent Mike excursion. Speaking of travel, speaking of going interesting places, and I think we'll feature the amazing view of Mount Diablo that my lovely lady friend and I saw on a very long hike we took it's called Trampas Regional Park, owned by the East Bay Regional Park District. And I did take the late great Basil the Boxer there years ago. In fact, I had not been up this trail since I had gone up it with Basil years ago. You just go up and up and up and up this mountain. Now, thankfully, this trail is actually a road. It's paved. I don't know how old it is. It looks like it dates back quite a few years. But you walk up there's no, at any point, we were waiting for it to go flat. Nope, it kept going up. It was on a steady incline all the way till you got to the top, about a 2-mile walk straight up this hill. And believe me, if that wasn't rough, they always tell you the older you get, the tougher it is to walk down a hill. Well, I'm starting to feel that now because, I could feel my hips. I don't know if my hips are like weak, and I was trying to control how fast I was going down the hill so I wouldn't end up rolling down it like a rolling stone. But I ended up, I think, having I got all my steps and then some. And I think it was really good exercise, good cardiovascular work, and got some beautiful pictures. Like this one you see at mikesdailypodcast.com. See it now.
This is interesting.
It's very interesting.
Wow, this is interesting.
The podcast picture. And you can also see video, though I don't know why you would want to, but it'll be up for a day of this wonderful recording, and it'll be up there if you go to mikesdailypodcast.com and click on the see video of the show here. And save that link, because it's on Twitch, because I sometimes broadcast my little impromptu radio stations on the weekends. So if you want some great music that suddenly has no rhyme or reason, it's completely randomized, let Mike find that for you at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I will.
So, yes. And we didn't do a podcast yesterday because it was a plethora of amazing holidays yesterday. We had to take a day off, especially for Big Forehead Day, which we talked about on the last podcast, and also Clean Your Floors Day. Because, how did that stain get there, and what was that originally? We don't know. So that was one of the biggest reasons why we took the day, and that it was National Friendship Day. That's right, friends. Where would be if you've got a friend? At that, ain't it funny how? Oh, I heard that. Is it Carly Simon, who used to be married to James Taylor, who sang that song? And then Carole King wrote the song. You've got a friend, but not Carole King, but I think Carly Simon has Alzheimer's, or she's dementia. There is a difference, and I know those of you in the medical profession know what it is between dementia and Alzheimer's. I think one has to do, they diagnose it after you have passed away. But Joyce Clyde Hall, this according to nationaltoday.com, founded Hallmark Cards in 1910, a company that became instrumental in popularizing...
For you, if there's a law against it, it's wrong, black and white. I just don't see things that way, that's all.
Well, you ought to give it a try, fella. It might keep you out of jail.
Oh, so maybe there was not somebody who stole some greeting cards? Because, of course, that's what Hallmark Cards does. And they do greeting cards, of course, for Friendship Day. Humans are the most social beings on the earth. We need to relate to each other, just as Abraham Maslow hierarchy of human needs came up with. Our sociological needs motivate our behavior, encouraging us to make interpersonal relationships and connect with others on a deeper level. With such a huge need for human connection with people other than our significant other, it's no wonder that we celebrate an entire holiday based on the importance of friendship. It was originally a marketing strategy by the folks at Hallmark Cards. What a shock. In the 1930s, anyway, Café Anyway, as we go outside of Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica. Joyce Hall designated the day would take place on August 2nd and decided it would be a day to celebrate the people closest to you and send them a card or two in the process. Of course, they make a buck. It soon became a bigger deal than originally planned when in 1935, the U.S. Congress pronounced the first Sunday of August would be National Friendship Day. It gained popularity, and in 1998, isn't this interesting? 1998, the United Nations named Winnie the Pooh as the world's ambassador of friendship. Right about here, I would do a Winnie the Pooh accent impersonation. I like honey. I don't know how he sounds. I forget. In 2011, during their 65th session, the United Nations designated July 30th as International Friendship Day. Oh, and speaking of friends...
Mike's Daily Podcast, broadcasting from Café Anyway.
Kit Carr is our friend here, parked outside of Café Anyway. Nowadays, we celebrate National Friendship Day the first Sunday in August. Thanks to advancements in technology, it's easier to get in touch with friends to share and be thankful for them. But that is not what we celebrated yesterday, since yesterday was actually August the 3rd, which is not National Friendship Day. So I guess... Oh, but National Friendship Day is August 3rd. Oh, International Friendship... Anyway, Café Anyway, the thing is, you should have friends. They help you have a strong...
And the Oscar goes to...
Those of you who have a lot of friends, it's good to have a good, big social group that you... a sense of community. And they say people that live longer have a good social network. Is what that is. And people like to travel. And people are using their business trips to get a little extra... leisure time travel. 83% of American business travelers at least occasionally turn a work trip into leisure. And a little less than half of travelers add 1 or 2 days then to relax on a business trip as a sign that people are staying in a city after their business has concluded. Let's see. Is there anything else interesting about this bit of knowledge? Oh, policy considerations for companies about leisure travel. They're cracking down with a clear separation of reimbursement versus...
Revenge is a dish best served cold. You think about
Don't
that.
get revenge against the company by turning part of your business trip into a leisure trip. What's reimbursable? What's personal expenses? That kind of thing. The IRS rules allow deduction of business-related portions only, as you know. This according to travel-code.com. Duty of care and insurance coverage must be defined for companies. Formal policies reduce tax risk.
You're such a creative soul.
Actually, I didn't come up with that. Travel-code.com did. And something about a cost variance by 12 to 18%. Okay. More workspace-ready rooms is how hotels are dealing with this new fad. Fast Wi-Fi. And they are offering long stay pricing, according to bleisureHosting.com. Yes, there's a website. There are some hotels that promote off-season shoulder travel, according to Forbes. Shoulder travel. This apparently is in Iceland, as well as the Faroe Islands. And home rentals offering remote work amenities, according to upgradedpoints.com. Interesting. So that's a shoulder travel. Is another thing I learned on today's podcast.
Have you seen these ads? Yeah, I started Tai Chi walking. Now I'm ripped. And this guy's muscle bound. Come on.
The late, great John C. Dvorak. And he said something that's something he said very recently. Sadly, he passed away very recently, but he said some hilarious things in the past. I guess he had been out of the hospital for like the past 20 weeks recovering from heart surgery, and sadly he passed away recently, but loved his stuff that he did on the No Agenda podcast with Adam Curry, who used to be on MTV back in the 90s. Making fun of people's hair. Apparently he got into trouble making fun of Richard Marx' hair. I met Richard Marx once. At that point, though, his hair wasn't all teased out and 80s mullet looking. It looked a little more normal. Shoulder season travel is the practice of visiting destinations just before or after peak tourist periods, offering lower costs, fewer crowds, and pleasant weather. That is shoulder season.
I don't know. Who can I talk to about... I mean... come on, wake up. What are you guys doing?
We're talking about interesting things.
I don't know what you're doing. Wake up.
Why are you yelling?
Not woke up. Oh, my God.
Oh, boy. Someone's got a thing against the woke agenda. Oh, wait, I did that wrong. Let's see. Do I have the right button here? The woke... No. That doesn't work. No, there it is.
The woke agenda.
How did that happen? That was very odd. Let's see. Well, speaking of traveling, there are those that are traveling to college. Yes, some folks are getting ready to go to college, some young folks. Millions of students are preparing to head back to campus over the next month, and so change is happening. Paying tuition is only part of the financial commitment. Social media is influencing kids to spend more on their rooms. I remember a similar thing happening last year. I guess this is a thing that's growing year by year.
Live and loco.
This is indeed live and loco. Probably happening loco to where you are. Is he saying local or loco? It's a little bit of both. The move into a dorm has become one of the biggest shopping events of the year for Target, Walmart, Costco, Amazon, IKEA, and Best Buy. Some people spending $900 on their budget. Well, if they're doing the budget dorm setup, students who buy only the essentials, shop secondhand, and split purchases with roommates. Then there's the average dorm setup that goes to about $2,500, where people buy a mini fridge, a microwave, coffee maker, area rug, smart TV, computer monitor. And then those that spend $8,000 plus with the high-end dorm setup, that has become,
all right.
for some people, getting a new laptop for $2,500, noise-canceling headphones for $600. I know earplugs, I guess, won't do. They gotta. It is noisy. I remember I wasn't in the dorm, but I was in a off-campus apartment complex, and even though there was 4 of us living in one suite, basically. So yeah, it was always noisy, and MTV was always on. Espresso machine, some people get that. Designer bedding, smart lighting.
Good morning.
Like this lady.
Let you know that my transistor radio does work. So I'm grateful that I can still get the program.
Transistor radios.
So I just like to listen when we travel.
Oh,
I won't try to use my cellular device to listen.
No, just
thank you.
You can use your cellular device to listen to this podcast because I'm on all the podcast apps. And you can also listen on the radio at 1013 in the Ventura County area on Camera Radio. And also listen at cameraradio.org at 5:30 in the morning is when the show is on. There are some professionally designed dorm rooms featured on social media that exceed $10,000, so that you know. So if you're traveling along, how about...
But if you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
I hope you're not offended that you might be driving in a car that has no driver. The Waymo Robotaxi. They have lower crash rates. An independent study finds that Waymo's robotaxis are involved in fewer crashes than human drivers. So they're indeed in the lead, a key milestone for early public trust. And that is what's going to get people into these cars. And I watched one of my YouTubers that I only watch YouTubers really that talk about travel, that go places, that travel to destinations that I would sometimes like to go to at some point someday. And this one guy just did with his dad Route 66 because it's the centennial of Route 66 from when it was first dubbed Route 66. And when it goes from Chicago to Santa Monica, I didn't know it actually originally ended in the middle of downtown LA, but then it got extended out to Santa Monica I think in the 30s, because originally Route 66 was named in the mid-20s, 1926 to be precise. But yes, they took a Waymo in the last part of the trip, and that was fascinating. I got to do this sometime, and I live just right across the bay from where they do this kind of thing, so I should try that. I know it's a random post of mine that I'm bringing you, but I got to check it out. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety offers some of the strongest evidence yet that driverless vehicles can outperform human drivers on safety. Researchers compared crash rates of human-driven cars and Waymo robotaxis in San Francisco, Phoenix, Los Angeles, and Austin, 4 cities where robotaxis are prevalent.
Fair and unbalanced.
Looks like they did a fair and unbalanced study with these 4 cities. Waymo vehicles were involved in 68% fewer police reportable crashes per mile traveled. Less than human drivers in those cities. 68% less. Waymo had 85% fewer single vehicle crashes than human drivers. Injury crashes were 81% lower on a per mile basis. They had super.
Thanks for asking. I'm super. Thanks for asking.
They had super. Well, they had not so super numbers in San Francisco. There was only 35% fewer crashes. But in Phoenix, 76% fewer crashes with the Waymos. Autonomous vehicles that don't get drunk, drowsy, or distracted apparently do a better job. So if you're thinking about all that traveling. And then if you're thinking about your pet, because you're going to leave your pet behind. That's the big problem for me. Why I can't go traveling is because I got Rocky the cat who's asleep just off camera and off mic. And I'm Mike, and I'm a little off. But, it's like, what do we do? Leave him alone? Who's going to feed him? That whole thing. And that costs money. We've paid people.
You got to be able to look at a room and still look at your app and hit the app and use the app.
Not like this guy.
You still got to look at a room. Otherwise, you're going to walk into a wall. And that's going to sound like...
Wow. Just interrupt my podcast.
I love Mike.
Oh, thank you.
I'd give him a raise, but nope.
And I got this story from that guy right there, Rob Black. I produce his podcast. He's heard on AM 1220 KDOW weekdays in the 5 p.m. hour, and he's on Cron TV Monday through Thursday in the 9 a.m. hour. And I have to say, he wrote this interesting thing about potty training consultants. Can make up to $4,500. It's an actual job title thanks to some wealthy professionals who prefer to leave the poopy part of parenting, nice alliteration there, to someone else. The Wall Street Journal found wealthy families are no longer employing just one nanny, but entire teams, from teaching not their pets, but actually their kids.
Right? Good.
The kids on how to ride a bike. $450 per session, as well as to teach them how to pack their bags for summer camps. $125 per session. And if you're paying someone for that kind of training and not spending money on a doctor, OpenAI rolled out their ChatGPT Health recently, letting people connect their medical records and health apps to get personalized answers and recommendations. The company claims the latest AI models can reason, quote, at levels that are better than clinician level. And I bring this up only to say, be careful with all this information that you're giving just blindly to ChatGPT and OpenAI. We're
going to lock them up, all of them.
They're going to use it.
We're going to come lock you up too.
Because they're going to be using our information. Maybe your mom will finally agree med school wasn't a good idea. Because, hey, now OpenAI can figure it out. And then, speaking of trying to find a good job, because I guess I was doing that just now. If you're daydreaming of quitting your day job to start a business, now might be the time, says Rob. Americans filed a record 5.7 million business applications last year, thanks in large part to artificial intelligence. AI made it cheaper, faster, and easier to launch a business. So much for jobs being lost to AI. Now businesses are being launched by AI. So go chase your dreams and maybe bring ChatGPT. Why are you promoting ChatGPT so much? I gotta ask. Aren't there other artificial intelligence providers? Find the one that's not stealing all your information. That's what I have to say. Because you're just blindly giving your info. Blindly. Did I say the word blindly? I meant that without any sight whatsoever, you're just handing over important, relevant, intimate information about yourself. Kind of like the way I am now as I talk to this person here. Right now, I'm so confused by my notes, and I can't understand what I'm walking into now. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. Hi, doing that by my horse.
Listen, Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what.
What?
You walked into a big hug fest. We're all going to give you a hug right now, Benita. Nilly the horse and I were going to give you a big hug. Tell you what.
What?
Get ready for the hug.
All right, I'm being hugged. That's kind of dangerous, being hugged by a horse or a bear. How did a bear get into this hug, too?
Right.
It was a bear hug.
There's something wrong.
Get away. What? Who else is here?
Oh, Mike, I make delicious root beer. Have some right now. I'll pour it for you right now because I'm kind. And it's good to be kind. Always be kind. And always try to be nice. Try to be nice, but always succeed in being kind. Something that Doctor Who said. And I'm the Brewmaster because I make the root beer. Oh, boy.
Yeah. I'm feverishly trying to remember what Peter Capaldi said in his final speech as he was about to regenerate into the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who speech. This is me typing. This is the sound of me typing. Isn't it cool? Final speech. Let's see.
We are the knights who say...
That's not what he said. Let's see. What were... Radio Times would know. This is going to crash my computer by reading this. Oh, yeah. That was fascinating that a lot of that was made up right on the spot. Let's see. Laugh hard. Always try to be nice. There it is. And I'm literally reading this while trying to not click on anything else on this website, radiotimes.com. Always try to be nice and never fail to be kind. I like that slogan. No. It's more than blah, blah, blah. Always try to be nice and never fail to be kind. Okay, Brewmaster?
Yeah, okay, I'll try to be kind and never be nice. I got people in the basement that come down and see what I'm trying to make with the root beer. And I make root beer. Drink right now, I'll cut you. Over!
Wow. That voice is something else. Oh, I liked it, Brewmaster. Thank you. And because you're so nice.
I try to be nice. Oh, boy!
That's good. Try to be nice. Oh, boy. What do you think about all that? Here's the number to call.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
Will you shut ups? Liberty Nation Freedom Phone for all.
The fact that they were correcting everything and not correcting with her.
And with all things having to do with Mike's Daily Podcast, we go to the main frame and hear from A frame. Oh, wait, she's dialing in right now. Look at that, calling us here from 1990-something to calling us here at Café Anyway now to tell us everything you need to know about the podcast that you've just listened to. Thank you so much for listening.
I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!